and welcome to the Kingdom Network. My name's David, and I'll be your host for today. Today, we'll be learning about Protists, the most randomly grouped kingdom. Protists have many ways to obtain nutrition, many ways to reproduce, and many ways to obtain genetic diversity. Thank you. Our guest for today is green algae. They're very closely related to land plants, and they're the gross stuff that grows on the sides of your fish tank.
Hi, I'm green algae. I can be a simple unicellular, multicellular, or colonial species. I make my food from the light of the sun, which makes me a photoautotroph. I can reproduce sexually or asexually, depending on the state of the environment around me. I'm the closest relative to land plants. There are lots of other types of algae, like brown algae, that is also known as seaweed, red algae, that causes red tide, and golden algae, that is named for their color and has flagellum. Since I'm a very common type of protist, I will be talking about many of my relatives in the kingdom Protista.
Interesting. Would you like to tell us about some general characteristics about protists? I know that when I think of protists, I think of amoebas. What makes amoebas so special?
Good question. Amoebas have a pseudopod, or a false foot, that helps them move around. They are categorized as cercozoans. They are heterotrophic and use phagocytosis to consume their food. Phagocytosis is when they will use their appendages, or pseudopods, to surround their food so that they can consume it.
I never knew that. I know that animals can't reproduce without a partner. So when you talk about asexual reproduction, doesn't that cause a lack in genetic variation? How do protists get around that?
Endosymbiosis is the answer. Endosymbiosis is the basis behind nearly all protist variation. Endosymbiosis is when a protist will surround a bacterium or another protist and will use the beneficial DNA from the organism they have captured. After endosymbiosis, the protist will divide or use binary fission, and the offspring will have the DNA of the consumed species. Certain protists can also reproduce sexually.
That's great. Now I'm very hungry, so I'm going to take a bite of my pizza. How do protists get nutrition other than photosynthesis, as you've already mentioned?
Good question. Protists can be heterotrophs, autotrophs, or mixotrophs. Heterotrophs will consume bacteria or other protists. Autotrophs will conduct photosynthesis, and mixotrophs will do both.
Wow, that's crazy. There's so many ways to get nutrition. I wish I could photosynthesize. Now, would you like to tell us about some divisions of protists?
Sure. There are many different types, such as algae, dinoflagellates, euglenozoans, and epicomplexans, which are parasites, ciliates, oomocetes, diatoms, cercozoans, which are amoebas, amoebozoans, which are gymnoamoebas, and mycetozoans. Dinoflagellates make up most of the marine phytoplankton, and epicomplexans cause malaria, and mycetozoans are the slime molds. There are so many different groups that some of them are even mistaken for fungi.
Amazing. I wasn't aware there were so many different types of protists. Now, before we run out of time, are there any fun facts you would like to tell us about?
Of course! Some protists have two nuclei called the macro and micronuclei. Protistas is often called the garbage can kingdom. If you don't know where it goes, then it's a protist. Some protists also have a hairy flagellum, and that is how they are categorized. It's all so very specific. There are so many protists on Earth that the fossilized remains of diatoms make up most of the Earth's sediment. To give you an idea, there are more protists in a drop of pond water than there are humans on the planet.
Well, that's all the time we have for our show tonight. Let's give special thanks to our guest, Green Algae.
Yay!
Now be sure to join us next week when we talk about fungi. Are they really the most fun? You stay classy, APBIO. Cougar crossing. Rawr. King of the castle. King of the castle. You didn't say one.
You're not supposed to say one!
Oh my god, keep that. The oomocetes? Oomocetes. Oh my sight. See. Oomocetes? Oomocetes. Oomocetes! No! Amazing. I wasn't, oh crap. Well, that's all the time we have for our show tonight. let's give special thanks to our guest, Green Algae.
Yay!
And I don't remember what I was supposed to say. Ah, crap.